Good morning. This voice is not cooperating this morning, but I hope that you are well. I need to invite you to the stream, but I want to show you how it happens. And while you're waiting for me to invite you to the stream, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit more. And I'm going to show you what we are in here trying to do. All right, so let me share my screen. And I want you to see, let's see, am I in the right spot? There we go. That's it right there. I think I'm going to make this page a little bit darker back here. So let me go change that color real fast so you can kind of get into that fall mood. And which one should we do today? This is both of the designs a little bit larger. So I am excited because they're both beautiful, and I have not painted either one. So I'm going to scoot this over. Well, hello. I'm going to scoot this over and let me see if I can do a quick share where it is maybe a little easier for you to see. Now, see, I don't want the whole screen. Okay, let's see if it's going to cooperate. I think the other day I had to do presenter view. I don't want the whole screen. Here we go. Okay, so good. It stayed in its own little area because sometimes it will just completely take over. All right, so let me get to the right page so you can see them both. Okay. Now, which one are we going to do? That's the dilemma. So let me let that, will it loop and play? Let's see. That might be another program for another day, but I have them both printed and ready. Okay, they are right here, but we are going to invite you if you were to decide to be one of my guests and paint with me live. That weather is changing, guys, and then it doesn't help when you have a couple of little kindergartners cough on you repeatedly. All right, we tried. Let me go ahead and invite the guest. That would be you. And let me show you once again what that would look like. All right, I have sent the invitation. And if you were to receive it, this is what it would look like. Okay. Let me refresh. And here it is right here. Join me on StreamYard. That would be your invite. Then on the inside, you have a link. All right. But make sure, if you can, be on a laptop and have really good internet reception. Sometimes I have good reception and sometimes I don't. All right. So we're going to keep on moving here. Let's see here. And as always, before I enter the studio, I try to remember I'm in the studio right now. Let's see. I want you to see. Nope, that's going another direction. Hello. There we are. Okay. So usually I try to make sure the camera's in the right spot before we do all of this so it doesn't make you so dizzy. All right. So now we are there. We are ready to paint. All right. So I have them both ready. I don't know which one I want to do. The dilemma. Well, because this one is totally fall, right? I think we will do the one that's feeling more end of the summer. Okay. I think we're going to go with hello. Am I not going in the right direction? There we go. So we'll save that one for another time. There we go. So this is the one we will roll with. Let's get the right view. That's great, but I need you to see what we're painting. That's better. Right, that's better. All right, so let's see what we have going on here. Let me do a double check to see if I get a larger painting can. Nope, I probably should have just left it alone. All right, so we're ready to get started. That's probably as good as we're going to get. There we go. I like that one better because that way the paint cam is up top. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm trying to see, I have it on 2 different papers. I think I'm going to try this thicker paper and see if that'll work. I don't even know if I gave you a proper greeting, and this is where I probably need to start the actual video. Good morning. This is Bernaid Frenoy, and welcome to my studio. I am so glad that you are here. I love painting, and I love inviting you in. I'm an art teacher by day, which means back to school is in session for us. This is the end of week 4 for us here in Indianapolis. I don't know if school has started where you are, but we're over here in full swing, almost halfway through the first quarter, which is a little scary. Okay, it's going really, really fast. September starts Monday, so I'll be back with you on Monday, and I might do I have it right here? The acrylic paint? Yes, I might do the actual acrylic paint, which I might do it on canvas. All right, so I may come right back and do this one on canvas Monday because I really love this mysterious kind of exotic tropical end of summer image. So we're gonna go with this one. All right, but we're gonna save the acrylic for Monday, and we're going to use our watercolors today. So it was a tough decision which one to paint, but I think we're good. I can tell that the notifications are going out. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on the clipboard. Good gracious, here you are looking at me again. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Now, with the praying, they don't have pink. So sometimes at school, I'll go get an extra pink. So I have this watercolor set that has some pink in it. So I may mix that in because I'm looking at the warm. Let me get you close. I am looking at the that warmer purple. So we'll see. Let's make sure this is good and straight for us. Make sure you can see what we have going on. All right. We're going to do a quick. Get my brushes ready. Now this is the water I think we've used all week. I like to keep my water clean and my napkin dirty. Let's see, it looks like this is at an odd angle just a bit. So let me see if I can flatten this up in here. I hope this is going to be a little bit better. I think that little slight adjustment helped even it out a little bit. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, there we are. Let me spritz a little bit. And the reason I keep showing this one, this would be the kit that I would send. If you wanted a watercolor kit, and that's the thing these days in our paint party circles, we still, of course, have the regular acrylic, but sometimes our our clients need a shorter session, and the acrylic can take a little bit longer. But if you need a session that's less than an hour or an hour or less, the watercolor is the way to go. Make sure you're seeing the bottom of the image. There we go. I think we're good. Let me make sure I am not knocking things over and we're good. All right. Now, this is not in the download folder. I think this is a little gray. I forgot to turn on one light. Let's see if that has helped a little bit. Okay. So turn on all the lights in the studio. You've seen the studio. I'll show you again. All right. So let's look at our image and let's get going. I hope this direction right here is a little better for you. Okay, I'm trying not to knock this computer over, okay? But I want you right here. So let me see if I can move this over. Now you can stick very close to the image or you can do your own thing. I think I want to start with the brown skin because I may want a second coat. Now, I don't like having my water over here and the paint over here. I'm right-handed, so I like to have everything right here. But the way this camera and everything is set up, it's kind of split. So I'm about to cross over and get the paint. Now, this is the larger image. This would be great for the 8x10. And for our kids, it could be 8x10 or maybe 11 by 14, and it depends on what you have going on. It can go larger as well. So yes, this is all that beautiful brown skin, and what I may do is just lift this up right here a little bit, and you know what, I'm going in here with it. All right, let's get a little bit more paint and let's go forward, and we're getting close over here. Now, I put the water on first. Now, I can paint right over the black because the black lines are so embedded in the image, and this is transparent. Okay. Now, I probably shouldn't have gone over the lips because of whatever color we're going to use. All right, so I'm smoothing this out just a little bit. Now, watercolor dries a little bit lighter. All right, so let's go on down here and get some paint. Now you could add some modeling to this, or you could just paint it flat. Let me get just a smidge of water right here. And hurry up and catch this over here. I'm going to add just a little bit of modeling. Now I'm using the, I think this is the longer filbert, which would be more of a flat squared edge brush. All right, so I need a little bit more paint right here. And I need to hurry up and move quickly because I really don't want any lines on the skin. I want it to be as smooth as possible, but we know watercolor is going to give you some lines a little bit. That's just the nature of the paint, and some people love it for that. All right, so here we go. We're going in on the neck with a little extra paint right here. And I'm just gonna act like this is, what do you call it, like a boat neck, right? So we're gonna go in with a little bit more this side here. With just a smidge of water. When that paint does not want to move, you need a little bit of water. Okay, so now our image shows really dark brown chocolate skin. And so now that I have that first coat, I'm going back. And I'm going to try to move very fast this time. We get a little bit more water, a little more paint. And you'll see, once you kind of get started, it'll start to come naturally. How much paint, how much water. Now, of course, at the end, you can go over these lines with a marker. Now, I may have some extra painterly lines this morning, and we're going to be okay with that. All right, so we've got this beautiful dark chocolate, delicious brown. Oh, let me go ahead and get rid of the larger brush. Right, oh, let me make sure this is good right here. I can't tell. It might be some summer straps or, a summer outfit, but we're going to put a little spot of clothing. Okay, let me get in here and move this around. All right, let me try to make sure we're blending everything in as well. Now, because the nose may need a little bit of highlight, you don't have to do it. You can save it just for the lips. This is how I would go in here and do it. I'm cleaning out my brush, and I'm just going to go right here and lift out a little bit of that paint. Just a smidge for the nose. Okay, so I am removing, kind of mopping up some of that paint. I don't want to do too much. As you know, I am part of the team Do Too Much Club. All right, so we're just going to go up here a little bit, and we're going to leave that area alone. So let's see. I am going to get a little purple and a little bit of red and a little pink for these lips. So that little bit of brown that we actually put on the lips by mistake, that's okay. That's going to actually help us. And I'm using the very tip of the brush to stay in control. Using it like it's a colored pencil. All right. So I think we've got our lip color on here, and I think we're good. I still have paint on my brush, so it's still delivering. Like I said, if you're messing around with this, you got to know a little bit about the portraits. And I think I may have, there we go. Let's see. I'm trying to see what's going on here. I may have to go back in and put that brown right back. All right. So now we're going to add a little bit of purple and orange back here. And let's move quickly. in here. And like I said, for a quick event, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this all this nice, beautiful orange, and then we've got that darker center there. So I'm gonna move this along really fast. 'Cause I may add a little pink, I may add a little bit more yellow, but you know, it's your painting. You may want it this part to be a nice, cool blue, but because it's the end of summer, we still want a little pop of that warmth, and then, of course, orange is that fall color, and technically, it is still summer on September 1st, but, you know, that weather is really changing. So I'm going in here really, really fast. Careful around the edges here. Oh, that's green, so we'll leave that alone. Nope, that is not green. I thought that was a leaf. So if something seems off or you're not quite sure, go back to your reference image. That will help you. Now back here on the leaf, I kind of like the little brush strokes for watercolor. Am I saying leaf? This plant or whatever this kind of sunflower. Now I don't know where you are. One day I am going to plant some sunflowers. A few of my neighbors have planted them and now they're really big, beautiful, and top heavy. All right. I don't know if you've planted any this year. I'm just going to run this right here. All right. So now we've got a nice burst of color back here. And I think what I'm going to do, like I said, is just kind of go back here a little bit. Let me add a little bit of moisture back here to the purple. And let me swoop up a little bit of red too. All right, let me get a little bit more of this red on this brush so that it can kind of play around with the orange. And I'm hoping that I will have a few dried, crispy brush strokes in here. Okay. So we're going right on up underneath here. Okay. So here we are, and it's feeling delicious. So I'm putting this tip over here, and then I'm just going to fade it out. Okay. So you do what you feel like doing, and so we're just adding a little bit of zhuzh, and then we're going to keep it moving. I'm going to go right back up in here. Let's see, do I want just a little bit? A little bit. Now, I am very happy with how this is turning out right here. I'm good. I could end the broadcast right here. I'm going to kind of keep going a little bit. And let's go ahead and get a nice, deep purple right here. Now, getting rid of some of the white starts to make everything come together. All right. Now I could go get a little bit more paint, and I'm just gonna let that soak in a little bit. All right. I'm gonna throw a little bit of purple back up in here. Just a little bit. I don't know what this is right here. We're just gonna add this right on the end. Okay, so I'm okay with that. Just fading this in just a little bit. All right, so we've played around back here in the back, having a good time. All right, so now, forgot we got one on this side. So let's go ahead and throw a little bit of orange over here real fast. And your guests, like I said, will enjoy this image, but they don't have to get all detaily with the watercolor because, let me clean out, I have purple in there, so that's kind of neutralizing that. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of bright yellow. The watercolor is transparent, so you can go over the lines. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more paint and come back up over here, right here. And I need my brush with the point, but I'm going to go in here with these little corners. And then there we go. All right, so we added a pop of color. And if I'd been looking ahead, I would have kept the purple. And I'm going to add a little bit of this here to come over here for my green. All right, and then the headband goes really, really fast. All right, so we're just adding that in here really fast. Now, I'm going to let that green get all in this brush right here. Okay, and then we're going to just come on over here. And let's go for it. This is a little bit brighter green than what's in the picture, and I'm okay with that. If you want it a little bit darker, you could add, of course, a little bit of black to it. Just a little bit. And we're just using the pure colors right out the kit without doing a whole bunch of mixing. Going back to get a little bit more. Need a little water to help move that paint along. All right. And I probably should get that smaller brush, but I'm going to do like so many of my paint party guests. Once you get that one brush and you can see what it can do, most of the time you do not put that brush down. But I totally understand. I'm going to say this is another little leaf back here, so we're going to go ahead and hit that. All right, so here we go. We're feeling very tropical, and it's going along really fast. Like I said, feel free to change up the colors. Now the purple up here is going to come together really, really fast, and we're going to leave it alone. I'm going to add a little bit of this here. Soak that up right here. I do like that purple center. Okay. That feels kind of watercolorish. So now, all right. So for art practice, I think we're coming along pretty good. Now I could add a little bit of black back there to help pop that, but now let's go on in here and take some of this watercolor and just go for it. I like this purple. I need a little bit more paint. Now we're just going along this edge. It's a nice large area, And this is where you don't have to get so, what do you say? You don't have to really worry too much because it's transparent and you can see all the lines. Now, acrylic paint, it's more opaque. And I'm okay with this now. So Monday, I may switch it up. I thought about doing this in acrylic, but this statement that we're making right here, I'm okay with it. So I am in my watercolor era, all right? So let's go on down here and get some more paint and adding some, we'll add a little bit of modeling up here in a little bit. This is where I might, excuse me, where I might add a little bit of black back behind here. If you need to change that color up right there, you can do that. And I will be adding a little bit of red here momentarily. And once this dries, you can always mix in a little bit of colored pencil on top. Do a little bit more modeling, add a few more subtle color changes and whatnot. Okay, so here we are. So that first layer is in there. Okay. So I'm just gonna go along here just because I can, add a slightly. All right, so here I am just adding just a few brush strokes to give it a little bit of variety back there. Okay. And then we're going to add a little bit of black here. And it's pretty much done. I think I am going to just softly add a little bit of purple down here. And just bring it all the way to the edge. That maybe she has on a little purple shirt. All right, here we go. All right. Let me get just a little bit more paint to help move things along down here. And we are just about finished. All right. And I don't mind having a few watercolor brush strokes down here. I might even go in here and get a little red. I'll go right up underneath this leaf. Maybe that's a little shadowing. Just add a little on this side. And you don't want to overwork the watercolor too much. So we're just going to make sure this kind of fades on out. This is one of our shadows. Okay. That's not there in the image, but this is what we're deciding to do for our statement. All right. Now we're going to add a little black, and we're going to call it a day. We got to go to work today anyway. This is just our art for wellness right fast in the morning. A little art break, our little art practice. So I'm wiggling in here, and we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to treat this like a marker. Go right along that edge, and you know what? I'm going right back here too. Going right on down back here to make that a little darker. Let's mix that in. Now see, that's when it gets a little precarious. From my viewpoint, I see shiny studio lights, the glare. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do my little letter zeros. My what did I call it? I think I called it cursive. All right, let's go get a little bit more water and a little bit more paint. I need a little more water to move this paint along. All right, we are just about finished here. And can I lose track of time in here? I definitely can. Now, I probably should have painted that brown right on up. Okay. But we're just going to go right on ahead in here. I may pick up a little brown to put up in there. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit more black. Oh, my hands are shaking. I'm going to go along here. Now, like I said, this part, you can definitely do that with a Sharpie marker once it's dry. I like to practice, even with my little shaky caffeine hands, or lack of caffeine this morning. It helps pop that out. You don't have to do this part with the brush. I'm just opting in to do it. I'm going to come right along this edge here. All right, so here we go. I'm not sure what you're seeing. Let me hold it up so I can see. All right, that happened really fast. Let me get a little bit of brown and come back up in here. All right. And we're going to say we are at the end. Now, of course, we could sit here and do a bunch of detailing, you know, for a few more minutes. But we're going to say we are done. I'm adding just whatever little black I have in my brush for this little part here. Yep. Now, I didn't add any red tones up in here. Let me see if I can do a little bit of that real fast. Just to kind of warm it up a little bit. And you know, I'm just going to say this is probably part of the pattern. And we're just going to go right on up here. Bring a little bit over here. Why not? It's going to kind of dry together. All right. You do not have to do this. I'm just having a little bit of fun. Trying to stick with some of the colors that are actually in there. I think I am going to go across. Why not? Nate, go sit down. I am sitting down, and I am here in art practice, just having myself a good time. All right. You might want to do polka dots or something like that, but this was just down in my sha-na-na. I just wanted to do it. Why? Why not? So I think we're good. I'm trying to see if I need to add anything back up in here. Why not? Just because. I think we're okay. All right, I'm going to get just a little bit of brown on the tip of my brush and come along right here. Fill that in. And make sure I'm getting paint and adding paint. There we go. I think we're good. We're about to end. Oh, I love playing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ah, I'm going to add just a little bit of brown up in here to cover up that white. All right. I thought I did a good job, but it looks like we still have a little bit peeking out. Okay. So I'm okay with this, y'all. Honey, I have had myself a good time. I'm ready to face the day. And let me see if I can come back to you with just these two. Let's see. I am going to, if I can remove our paint cam. All right, and I'm with you. So here we are. Try not to catch some of the glare. Some of this is still wet. Okay. We want the full light? No, we want it over here just a bit. Okay. Here we go. We are done. And as you know, we're just doing too much in here. Okay, that is closer to size. There we go. I think that light is a little bit easier. All right. So we're done. We're done. We had a good time. Now, the paper ripples up a little bit. As long as you don't have any wax on it, you could put like another piece of paper and kind of iron it flat before you throw it in your frame. All right, we did that. We're done. And like I said, if you want the green to be a little darker, a little rich, a little more nuanced, you can add a little bit of blue, a little bit of black in there. We just used the green right out of the container. And the lips are there. Okay. And you don't have to do this modeling with the nose. I just wanted to. And I probably should have added a little more orange back there. What's wrong with me? All right, but we're going to stop right here. Peace to you. Happy Friday. And I hope that you will stay well and not coughed on. And I can't even finish it. I hope that you stay well and not coughed on by a little 5-year-old. Awesome. Thank you. I forgot that we actually did. I didn't even check the comments. So sometimes when I'm in here, I'm just painting. So it's nice to have a moderator, but I'm the one doing it. So thank you so much for subscribing. And I want to say that's Skylar. So peace to you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. Spread a little art joy. This is Bernade Flournoy. Thank you for coming into my studio for a little bit of art for wellness, art for joy, a little art practice. So stay on the lookout for some more information about memberships. So peace to you. Have an enjoyable day. All right. Bye-bye.